Looks like Jeff's mic's a little bit dinged up there, folks, so we'll wait for Jeff to get back into this picture here. But welcome in. It is Thanksgiving here, folks. Wait all year for this day. Football, family, food, the three F's are what you want to pay attention to today. We're going to have a lot of fun here on the morning edition of The Right Side on Campus. We'll be here for at least an hour going over the games today. A lot of fun. You got the Egg Bowl in college basketball. You got 3 NFL games. How good are these NFL games? They're probably listed right in a row of how good they should be. With 107-108, that first game, Minnesota-Detroit, should be the best game of the day. Then you have the Cowboys right there after, traditionally on Thanksgiving, the same way with Detroit. And then you have that third game they're going to throw in, which to me, they might as well just cancel the football game, maybe postpone it, maybe run something like the Yule log on TV with, just to watch the fireplace and, hang out with your friends, because that game legitimately might put you to sleep tonight with the New York Giants and the Washington Redskins, Eli Manning and Kirk Cousins. But once again, folks, welcome in and happy Thanksgiving. Looks like we've got the big man back here. We there, big man?
And good afternoon, everybody. How are you today? It's Thanksgiving here. Yep, Donnie, we're here. It's Thanksgiving. We welcome all of you in. Happy Thanksgiving. And, Donnie, actually, at the end of the show, we're going to get involved in a little giving thanks part of the show. And it's not going to be, it'll be a little different than you might think it's going to be. But we welcome all of you in today. It's Thanksgiving Day. We don't quit, Donnie. We don't take any days off like some people around here. We're here. We're ready to go. We know in Costa Rica it's not a holiday, but here in America it is. And most of you are just hanging out at home anyway. So we figure we'll come on. We'll break down some games. We'll give out some picks. And yeah, that'll be it. Thank you to all you guys out there listening. We do appreciate it. How about that? We get a donation, Donnie. A $2 donation.
There you go.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Thanks to you, my friend. Aspire to late. Thank you. That's nice of you. We'll cherish that. I know we'll split it, Donnie and I, half and half. But Donnie, we got a lot to do. We got college basketball, college football, NFL. We'll start out today with some of the NFL games. We got the Egg Bowl. But Donnie, I do have a bone to pick with some of the bettors out there. And I have to ask, how did you not see the writing on the wall in this one? I know it was probably missed last night, but Donnie, we don't talk much NBA on the show, but that's just because, it's not something you can talk about. You just kind of bet it. It's not about, I guess, it's hard to break down from a breakdown perspective. Like, hey, this team's playing this team, and I think this team is, you know what I mean, Donnie? It's not easy.
Yeah.
There's
not really ebbs and flows. Yeah.
There isn't. It's not at all. And when you bet the NBA, it's pretty much got to be about the number. So last night, I'm taking a look, and I see all these people that are saying that the Celtics are to play. You got to just ride the streak out. You got to just play it. But Donnie, the writing was on the wall last night. 80% of the money was on both the side and the money. And I got to ask, I mean, the line went from 3 to 1.5. What the hell were you doing betting on the Celtics last night? If you did, shame on you. You don't listen to us. You don't listen to me and Donnie. Come on. Donnie, they know better than this.
Yeah, how much did they win? Like 15, 16 in a row, the Boston Celtics?
17.
17 in a row. Look at that. See that? Let me see last night. Let me just get caught up. I didn't even know who they played last night. What? Miami Heat? Are the Heat any good this year?
Nah, they're all right.
No,
not really.
Not really?
No, so it's like, but that's the point, Donnie. I mean, the writing was on the wall. Why did the line go down with 80% of the money on the Celtics? I mean, the Celtics are the hottest team in the league. And the line goes down on the kind of game like that. Big man, I love the pictures, but where the hell is Tupac? I'm actually not a big Tupac guy, really. I'll be real with you. Scotty, I'm a big rap guy, but I'm just more of a Biggie guy personally. I got Michael too, just because, I love Michael Jordan. I'm a big Jordan guy, but yeah, I'm not a big Tupac guy, Donnie. I never, I don't, it's not saying I don't like some of his songs, but I was just more of a Biggie guy.
Yeah, me too. I mean, most of us on the East Coast probably the same way. Respect Tupac's work. And again, if you saw my tweet yesterday, Jeff, Tupac, great actor, man. Great actor. Above the Rim and Juice, two of my favorite, high school movies there back in the 90s. Great Thanksgiving movies. So if they're out there, watch those on Thanksgiving. Bring certainly the holiday cheer.
But here's what I never respected about Tupac, okay? And again, I I, I referenced that he passed away, and I understand that. But I mean, let's be real about him. He was a fraud, a total fraud. He grew up on the East Coast. He's from the East Coast, but he tries to go out and be some West Coaster. Dude, you're an East Coaster. I can't respect that. Sorry,
Hmm.
just can't.
You get some hate in the
It is what
chat
it is.
box for that one, Jeff.
It's fine, but it's true. I mean, he was from Baltimore. He's from New York. He's not from L.A. It's like me. It's like me trying to go out and say I'm from Texas. I'm not from Texas. I'm from Philly. If I'm a beagle and I hang out with a bunch of Rottweilers, doesn't make me a Rottweiler. I'm a beagle. He's a fraud. He's a great rapper, but let's be real, he's a fraud. Um, yeah, I'm a Biggie guy always. Uh, but hey, we're being real today on Thanksgiving, Donnie. Let's get into the NFL. Actually, I do want to
Hmm.
talk about one thing last night. It was late night, and if you didn't see it, you need to see it. Folks, UNLV Reading Rebels are real. They're a good basketball team. They're well
They don't play
coached.
anybody. They don't play anybody.
They beat Utah last night, and they
Yeah, but
crushed them.
before that, they didn't play anybody though, Jeff. So how could you bet them?
You're well. I get a feeling you're starting a little trouble today, Donnie, and I don't know that I
No,
want to do it.
just kidding. I'm just messing around.
I could only imagine if he's listening right now. That's fucking Donnie. What the fuck? No, they're real though. They're really good. They're a team you want to definitely get on your tickets. They're really well coached. Got some real good players. They got a home atmosphere again. But let's get into some NFL, Donnie. We got 3 games today, which is nothing better, Donnie. You get down to wherever you're going, or your your family's at your house, and it's Thanksgiving. You don't go crazy on the games. You just put a little on them, just have some fun, and you're sitting there in front of a nice fire. You got the bird cooking in the oven. Nothing better than that, Donnie, huh?
No, nothing better than that. It's interesting, Jeff, because sometimes Thanksgiving's thrown into a little bit of a loop. Back in the day, growing up, you played on Thanksgiving Day in New Jersey. It's the tradition. Then you go to your parents or you go to your uncle's house or family member's house and you eat. And it was always one of the things, Jeff, where you got there and it was like the 12 o'clock game was Detroit, but nobody gave a damn about the Detroit Lions game because they usually stunk or the game didn't mean anything. And especially in the Delaware Valley up here, you always waited for the Cowboy game because it was that annual rite of passage. Right around the time that you were sitting down to eat dinner, the Cowboys came on, and it was always nice because you rooted for the Cowboys to lose while you had your Thanksgiving dinner in tradition. But now it seems a little bit role reversed. Like you actually have to hurry up and get to your in-laws or your family or, you sit upstairs. You might have that cocktail broken out early because the good game of the day today is actually the Detroit Lions game as opposed to the Cowboys game today.
No, totally agree. Come on, big man, stick to games. Don't reference the rap game that you know nothing about.
Oh,
Um,
yeah, you don't know anything about that either.
Jay the cool gamer must be from like Southern California or something like that. He must be offended at what I said. Well, it's the truth. I mean, you can say it's not, but it is. But yeah, no, I think you're right, Donnie. I mean, the game tonight, no one cares about, and it's just going to be a regular Thursday night game that no one cares about.
Brutal.
But I think the first 2 games are interesting, intriguing. 107, 108. We head to Detroit, and as we know, Detroit a Thanksgiving team. They always are, as are the Dallas Cowboys down in Big D. But we go to Little D today. And we go to Detroit. You got the Detroit Lions, Minnesota -2.5. What do you got a total at, Donnie? I didn't hit the sides and totals button.
It looks like
Uh,
45 and a half, 46,
45.
45.
Yeah.
Yeah, right between 45 and 46, depending on where you're shopping at out there.
So if you like the under, you want to head over to bookmaker.com. Donnie, this is a game that, the move goes down to 2.5, and that's a pretty important move, Donnie. I mean, coming off
Yeah.
3 is always a tough thing for bookmakers to do. But Minnesota's rolling right now. Defense is playing well. Case Keenum is getting realer and realer every day. Um, at what point, Donnie, do we start to respect him? Going on the road and winning this kind of game? What do you think?
Jeff, I mean, if you remember back in, what is it, maybe late September, somebody was repping Case Keenum out there saying, you know what, give the guy a chance. Looks like he can throw from the pocket a little bit. And I was way ahead of the curve on that one. He's been really good. And I'm glad they're starting to quell those rumors over there. Like, Hey, man, Teddy, you don't lose your job because you get hurt, and Teddy Bridgewater's looking really good in practice. Leave Case Keenum in. He's your shot at making a run in the playoffs, at winning the division, at doing something late in the season. As a Philadelphia Eagles fan, Jeff, would love them to put Teddy Bridgewater in the football game right now or just say he's our starter going forward. Guy hasn't played in basically 2 years at this point, but I wouldn't mess with a good thing. But it's hard. Like, these two games earlier, Jeff, that you were looking at, forget about the Giants and the Washington game. If you roll reversed in these games, if you put Detroit at Minnesota, Minnesota would slap Detroit. If you put today Dallas at the Chargers would slap Dallas today. So it makes it kind of interesting when you're breaking both of these first two games down because how hard it is to win on the road on Thursday football games. And you're going to have Minnesota, who I think is the better football team, Jeff, over Detroit. And you have the Chargers, who are the better football team right now, over the Dallas Cowboys. It does make for interesting, betting going back and forth. And those lines are moving. You're right, Jeff. That line was 3 yesterday for Minnesota over the Detroit Lions. Now you're seeing that dip back to 2.5, which is anticipated because, again, Matthew Stafford's at home. It's going to be a close football game. It's a division rivalry. They know each other really, really well. It's going to come down to the end. To be honest, Jeff, in the first two football games, I have no edge just because of the day they're playing on and where they're playing at right now.
Yeah, I think this is interesting though because I mean, like I said, the move down to 2.5 is important. I think that would probably mean that sharp money came in on Detroit, Donnie, you have to agree here. Detroit looks like the play here. This looks like a Detroit line. They're at home. It's Thanksgiving. They normally play pretty well at home. I think defensively they're decent. I don't think they're not the Oakland Raiders. They're gonna have to step up here, but I don't think
Yeah.
I still to this day don't think that the Minnesota Vikings are an unbelievable offense and no one can stop. You
No.
know, it's a shame obviously we do the show, but getting 3 would have been great at home here. Taking a home dog on Thanksgiving. You can't bet. I mean, Donnie, I know Minnesota's a great team and all, but I don't think you can bet against Detroit on Thanksgiving. I like this spot for them in this game. I think at home they're a pretty decent group, and Minnesota's a little banged up. It looks like a lot of these guys are going to play today, but um, the problem I have with Detroit is that issue with they can't run the football seemingly ever. Stafford's going to have to throw a ton today. But something tells me, Donnie, this is a close game. I don't know why. I'm still Case Keenum is still Case Keenum to me, but their defense is good. I kind of like the under. I mean, this might be a little too high for this one. Minnesota, we know, very good defensively. I could see this one, 24-20, 24-17. It's a tough one. These are really tough games. I lean Detroit and I lean under, but not big on it. You would agree, Donnie?
Yeah, I mean, I think Minnesota's the better football team overall. But again, it's Matthew Stafford. It's at home. It's going to be a close football game because that's what Matthew Stafford and Detroit Lions typically do. Even if they're down 7 or 10 points in the fourth quarter, somehow, some way, Matthew Stafford's going to have the football with 36 seconds to go, down 3 or 7 points to see if he can make miracles happen. And he always likes to come back on the charts. See a lot of people that, hey, Detroit already won in Minnesota. Don't look in the past like that. I mean, football teams change as the season goes on. Minnesota now that Case Keenum's an entrenched starter, and you're right. Justin Searcy points out, they lost Alvin Cook around that, I believe, in that football game, maybe if I'm dating back, or just around that football game. Minnesota, to me, much better team overall, but it's hard. Again, you're looking at a road team going division on a Thursday short rest. Both these teams know each other really well, and that's why that line is 2.5 there. That line probably would shift over if this game was back in Minnesota, Jeff, maybe looking at maybe a 4.5, 5.5, something in that line. And the same thing we're going to talk about in the second game. I don't have an outside edge in this game. If this game was played on Sunday, if you had the same line, I really would like Minnesota if this game was played on Sunday, Jeff. But it's not. It's played Thursday. It's an early Thursday game, interdivision battle. Don't have a clear side on that one. I don't even have a clear side on the over-under. Chris now showing a 46.5. Just tough football games on Thursdays because you never really know what you're going to get. Bodies are banged up. You can't really game plan enough short term. So we'll see what happens in that game. If I had to bet the football game, I would go square and take the Minnesota Vikings just because I think they're the better football team.
Yeah, it's so tough, isn't it? I mean, it's as Eagle fans, you're rooting for Detroit here. I mean, we're really rooting hard for them. I mean, Minnesota's kind of rolling right now. You're kind of thinking, well, do you really want to step in front of it? And at 2.5, Donnie, you're on a number. You're not, if you're down 10, I mean, you're not getting a back door. I mean, it's a shitty number. I mean, that's the truth of it. I mean, getting a solid 3, okay, but to do that, you're gonna have to lay 135 juice, and yeah, so for me, it's going to be a pass, Donnie. Just don't
Yeah,
really see
yeah,
much in this one. Maybe
yeah.
under 46, but It's a tough one. Real coin flip
It
here.
is.
109, 110. Dallas. Dallas is a home underdog to the Chargers. Unbelievable.
Should
Um,
be. Mhm.
I know we know Dallas is poor, Donnie. I mean, we saw that last week, and without Tyron Smith, it looks like Smith's going to go in this game. That's a big boost to the offensive line. Should allow them to run the football a little bit more. Should give Zeke Elliott a little bit more time in the pocket to complete some throws. And I'm not, the Chargers aren't an unreal defense either. There are some openings in the back there. But, the problem I have with Dallas, Donnie, it does go a lot farther than the personnel. Seems like, and you've hit this on the head before, and I think you're totally right. And you see it a lot in basketball where a guy gets annoyed because he's not getting the ball enough. It seems like they have to throw to Des Bryant every couple plays, or he starts diving around and saying, "Well, I don't get the ball enough," and they almost force it to him a lot of the time. He's not Terrell Owens. He needs to stop acting like it. They need to stop thinking that. You ever notice when he gets the ball, he always like runs around and acts like he's like going to just take on the whole team and he's going to carry them onto the end zone. It seems like they force the ball to him way too much. Cole Beasley seemingly been taken out of the game by a lot of these teams, and their offense really hasn't been very crisp lately. I think for some reason it's a little bit more crisper today. It's hard to bet against Dallas as a dog at home, Donnie, but Chargers, they're a team that hangs around in these kind of games. What do you think?
Yeah, it's not, the way Dallas is set up right now. It's not really hard to bet against them as a dog at home. You saw a case in point last week where the Eagles smashed them. The one thing that Dallas is having trouble with right now, Jeff, and you're going to take is again, it all gets back. It seems like it always gets back to Sean Lee and Ezekiel Elliott. When nobody respects the play action pass, it makes it a lot harder to play football as a quarterback because nobody's keying on the running back. They don't care about these old broken down running backs or, third down piece running backs and your practice guys who are really good football players. Nobody cares about that anymore on defense. And what's the one common denominator, Jeff, over the past 3 weeks that we've seen? Atlanta with a crushing pass rush smash this offense. The Eagles with a crushing pass rush smash this offense. What do you have coming into town today with the Chargers? Joey Bosa and Melvin Ingram coming off another crushing pass rush that's going to get after the Dallas Cowboys. Now, you're going to get some help back with Tyron Smith, but I do see some other banged up guys like La'el Collins is banged up for this one. He's probably going to go in this football game, but the same exact MO is coming to town again for the to play against the Dallas Cowboys. Jeff, you bring up a good point also when you bring up Des Bryant. Des Bryant a couple years ago was a super elite wide receiver, like worth his money. But he's no longer that super elite wide receiver anymore. I don't know if he's got a little step slower. I mean, he's still a really strong wideout, can catch the football, but he's no longer in the elite top echelon of wide receivers. And that hurts this football team because when the going gets tough, you just want to throw it to your best football player, the Julio Jones, Antonio Brown, Odell Beckham when he's healthy, where you just say, you know what? It doesn't matter who's covering you. We need a first down here. You can get the football. Des Bryant's no longer that player. And also on defense, Jeff, the same moniker that's going to be there for however Sean Lee plays for the Dallas Cowboys. If Sean Lee is not in that lineup, Dallas is completely unbettable for me. Completely.
Yeah, no, and you're totally right. I mean, that's always been the MO with Dallas. When he's not in the game, it's hard to bet on their defense. They have to get some pass rush today. And now that the fact that Tyron Smith's back kind of negates that. You're gonna thinking, oh well, Melvin Ingram and those Joey Bosa and they should have a big day. But with him coming back now, it sort of solidifies that group a little bit. Um, I have a feeling Dallas wins this game. I mean, getting them as an underdog here, I just gonna kind of go with that. Um, Look, I
Now,
like
what would be your
LA,
case
but
on that, Jeff? Like, why would you like? Why would give me some thought, your thought process on why? I mean,
be,
I get it. Home underdog in the NFL. It's a Thursday. It's hard to win on the road. I like that. But build the like. Tell me about what you like about the Dallas Cowboys versus the Chargers in this one.
well, I just think getting Tyron Smith back, ba- getting Tyron Smith back is big. I think that Dallas's offense is a team that can move the football against the Chargers. They're at home. There's really not a ton, Donnie, I can give you. I'll be real. I just
No,
don't.
yeah,
If
just
I'm
I mean, go ahead.
Yeah, if I'm taking the Chargers, again, I want them to be in the underdog role. Um, I want them to be in that 1 to 4 point dog role. They usually hang in those type of games, but now you're laying your notion is they're going on the road and have to win. You have to lay points with them. It's just not a situation that I'm looking to get in with them. But I think we're really going to find out a lot about Dallas in this game. Dallas is a team that I think a lot of people have kind of written off at this point. Dak's kind of off a bad game. This is a big game for them. They need to have a nice showing here on Thanksgiving. Will they? I don't know. Like you said earlier, these games are both real tough. I mean, they are. And the whole world's betting them. There's not a ton of real value with them. Am I going to personally wager in these? Hell no. We're just giving you our opinion on them. But it's a tough one. I wouldn't be surprised either way. But it's sometimes it's about the numbers, Donnie.
Yeah, you know what's interesting about this too. When you take a look at the game, Jeff, normally you would line it and say, all right, Matthew or Philip Rivers got some weapons out there. He's got a wide receiver. He's got a couple good running backs. Then you look, Dallas's MOs usually they can score some football points. Score some points. But on the defensive side of the ball, they're usually a little bit lagging or without Sean Lee. And you say, no Sean Lee, why don't we just take it over 47.5? What has Dallas shown you, Jeff? I'm not saying I'm just being hypothetical. Like, what has Dallas shown you that this game should go over the total? We all know Philip Rivers. I mean, if you watch last week, they blew out the Buffalo Bills because the Bills just handed the game on a platter. When you give somebody 5 turnovers in the football game, you're going to get buried, especially a team last week. The Bills were in complete disarray. Who's starting? Why is this guy starting? He stinks. Why am I even playing football out here? We're getting blown out. Now you step into this different element here, and the Chargers aren't a fast offense. What I mean by that is, Jeff, we've seen it. Philip Rivers not the greatest arm. He's more of a surgeon out there. He's going to call, 15 checkdowns, right up to 1 second before the play clock, throw the football, and they love crossing routes anywhere between like a minute or not a minute, excuse me. What I'm talking about here is, minutes per drive, like 7, 8, 9 yard outs and stuff like that. They're going to run, and that's what they like to do. And Dallas, Jeff, last 2 weeks, 1 touchdown drive, and that touchdown drive was like 25 yards.
I hear you. You're making a case, Donnie. You definitely are good at that when you have a case in football. I hear you. They're tough games, Donnie. Both of them. You're not gonna get me off of them. Donnie, I'm gonna ask you about this comment. What does this mean? He's a survivor, dummy. Whatever you are today, big man, please get off of it. You've been ignoring me since you've been on because you don't see me yourself. You know damn well what you're choosing is not right. The hell does that mean?
What are we
What does that
talking
mean,
about?
Donnie?
What
I
are
have
we talking
no
about?
idea.
You're off your game
I
today,
have
Jeff? Come on, man. A little too early for you?
off my game. I'm absolutely wired today. What are you?
You
I
got the
gotta ask some of
sunlight.
these
You got
people.
you got you got Notorious in the
What?
background. You got
What is?
Jordan in the background. Yeah.
I got coffee today. I mean, it's I'm not even gonna. Whatever. Okay. Whatever, Trey Day. Whatever you say, pal. I don't know what you mean there, but all right. I think he's still mad about my Tupac comment, but
I
sorry,
tell you,
it's
that'll
true.
rile some people up, Jeff. Like, as soon as you say, like, if you're a Pac fan over a Biggie Smalls fan, like that'll like as soon as you say, like, I'm really not a Pac guy. It doesn't matter what you say after that to a Pac fan. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I've always kind of maintained though that I'm a notorious Big guy. I mean, I'm an East Coaster. That's kind of what we do. Um, Poland's in here, Donnie. So I say
Hmm,
Shezek to you. Shezek.
like it.
Hello. I appreciate you tuning in today. Um, Poland's awesome, Donnie. You look at sometimes you get all these people on here, and you wonder. Like I was talking to Gabe last night. He was telling me like there's no like they don't they're not celebrating Thanksgiving because they celebrated a couple months ago. Um, and I wonder, what do you do today on a day like today? Everyone else, Gabe's kind of an honorary American, Donnie. I mean, I feel like I should have invited him to my house. Uh, but the door's open to you, Gabe. Donnie, a couple things to do. We got one more game here in the NFL. We got a game that I don't think anyone cares about, but we'll talk about it. Redskins -7, total 44.5. Donnie, what do you think of this game? Any opinion?
It's unbelievable that, like, I mean, early in when the schedule makers come out, you say, let's put a good NFC East rivalry game on there. We're expecting the Giants to be somewhat of a decent football team, same with Washington. And what a better way to wind down Thanksgiving than putting a, old crusty battle for the NFC East there on TV. And it turns out this game, first of all, the Giants, what are you actually playing for? You have 2 wins. You won in the wind tunnel last week versus the Chiefs. Now you're going on the road on a short week. Who are you going to have in your lineup? Your offense is absolutely anemic. And then you say, well, what about Washington? Oh, man, tough loss last week to the New Orleans Saints. They should have had the win down 15 points. No better way than to just come back and play when basically your season ends last week on just ridiculousness where you have 15 points late in the fourth quarter, you end up getting beaten overtime. You lose more starters in that football game. And I see the laundry list of Washington. Now, I get Kirk Cousins is a decent quarterback, and, Eli Manning's a little bit older. But who is playing defense for the Washington Redskins today? Who is playing offense for the Washington Redskins today? Does anybody care? Are the fans pouring out in droves like, oh man, I'm a Redskins fan. I can't wait to get to this football game on Thanksgiving night? Both of these teams dead in the water. I mean, if you're looking at the 7 here, to me, I would just take the New York Giants getting the 7 points for the simple fact I have no idea who's playing in this football game, and does anybody even care that they're playing in this football game?
Yeah, no, this is a dreadful game. I don't see any real reason to bet on it. Both teams are just sleepwalking. I have nothing on it. It's a pass for me. I do, though, Donnie, have somewhat of a better opinion. This Egg Bowl game's the line's kind of getting all got out of hand. I think a little bit. Mississippi State. I mean, they're down to under 2 touchdowns. I liked Ole Miss up at when it was much higher, but you're down under 2 touchdowns at this point. Ole Miss is definitely this is a bowl game for them. They don't have a bowl game, but they're playing with a backup quarterback. Are we getting to the point, Donnie? Just quickly to the point where maybe the Bulldogs are to play here at this line.
Yeah, I mean, I have nothing on the Egg Bowl. I mean, it's actually a shame they put the Egg Bowl on 7:30 on Thanksgiving night. I mean, the NFL game is going to take precedent, even though it's a bad football game. But I don't know if I will watch 1 minute of the Egg Bowl because it has zero meaning. Double-digit line, probably going to have some points in that one. But I guess they scheduled say we want to be the only college football game on Thanksgiving night. It's the Egg Bowl. Is the Egg Bowl ever good though? Like, does that
Yeah,
ever
it's
mean
always
anything?
on. It's always on at
Mm.
Thanksgiving. No, it doesn't generally, and with Ole Miss being in the state that it is right now, it doesn't mean too much. You took Mississippi State early in the week at 13. I don't think they were ever 13 early in the week. This is the lowest the line's gotten, but good for you. You must have got a bad line. Good for you. Ole Miss is an interesting team, though. They got a backup quarterback who's played pretty well. This is a big game for this team, but it is a game that I don't think not many people do care about. Donnie, I do want to get into some Thanksgiving stuff, but we will hit the college basketball scene a little bit. You're real disciplined if you don't bet today. I'm not that controlled. I'm a degenerate, I guess. Well,
Yeah, but we're gonna have fun. A
Nelson,
lot of people want to have fun today with these games. I get it, Nelson. I get it.
yeah, but Donnie, here's the point. I'm trying to at least me, I'm trying to tell people what to do. I'm not telling you what to do, but if you don't have an interesting piece or point or side on the game, it's okay to take a pass. It's okay to sit there and just watch the game. You don't have to bet on everything. Got a lot of rap talking here today. Love the chat.
Yeah.
Awesome stuff. We're kind of through the tough part, so just want to do mention some of these comments here. Today's rap sucks, which most of that is correct. A lot of bubble gum, that kind of stuff. There is a lot of good rappers though. Still, Funkmaster Flex does a great job of featuring them. There's still a solid undertone of good rappers. My son, Fred the Godson. There's still plenty of good rappers out there. Meek. Don't get it twisted. There's still some decent rappers out there. Donnie, who's a rapper you like nowadays? Do you have any?
I don't, you know what? I don't get around in the car that much anymore. I mean, I'm old school though. Like when
Yeah.
I get in the gym, I'm gonna run right through, just some YouTube, channels. I'm always listening to Nas, Biggie, all that stuff. I love anything that's coming from the '80s. Yeah, I'm always big on like EPMD. I'll travel back to the mid early '90s there, Eric B and Rakim, but then also, some modern day stuff. I mean, Rick Ross. I mean, I'm still an older guy, but I like everything. You give me Hall and Oates right through to, as I said, Rick Ross. I like music. If it's good music, I'm listening to it. And I grew up in the, Wu-Tang Clan, all that stuff when I was going to college up here in North Jersey in the mid to late '90s. It was a lot of fun, and that's where that R&B game came from, and I enjoy it.
Yeah, you gotta, Donnie, get in touch with if you like that kind of like 90s 2000 rap. Got to get on with on Sirius. They have a channel called Fly. It's a pretty good channel. I think you would like it. There's a lot of kind of R&B rap kind of stuff.
Sure.
But yeah, there's it's limited in the car anymore. You're not in there long enough to really check out the stuff going on. But yeah, there's still some decent rappers nowadays. Donnie, I do have a ranking that I want to get through here. Maybe you can comment and see what you think. I'm going to do some Thanksgiving dish rankings, some power rankings here on Thanksgiving. Some of my favorites. Obviously, I do like to eat. And today, I have a nice little indulgence here. I ranked them, Donnie, in my opinion, as far as favorite foods at Thanksgiving. Do you want to hear my list?
Go ahead.
All right. Coming in at dead last, cranberry. Uh, Not interested. Cranberry, I have no interest in eating it. Looks like beets, kind of in a way. I just don't have any interest in eating it. It doesn't look any enticing at all, and I pass on it. Number 9, green beans. I like green beans, but I don't really like them in this meal. Some of that like green bean casserole, yeah, I'm not interested. It doesn't look enticing at all, and I have no interest in eating it on a day like today. Number 8, mashed potatoes. It's cool as like a mixture with like all the other stuff, but just eating straight mashed potatoes, it seems like I'm eating like whipped cream. Like you don't just eat it plain. Number 7, creamed corn. It's okay, but again, it's very good in like the whole meal together. It's not something I'd eat kind of on my own. Number 6, pumpkin pie. It's a very good dessert, but it's just not up there for me as far as high level Thanksgiving food.
You're just
Uh,
being disrespectful to Thanksgiving now, Jeff. Come on.
Number 5, gravy. I mean, gravy is good, but it's very high level. It's just not up at the top. Number 4, turkey. Turkey's obviously the main entree. However, it is another one that I can't just eat on myself. Number 2, and actually I ran out of space, so this would be basically number 1. Stuffing, definitely the best one. I could probably sit there and just eat that plain with a little gravy on it. I don't eat sweet potatoes, so that's not even on the list. Um, Again, these are what my list is. This is what I have. But as far as I'm not going to include any baklava or nothing because I know everyone doesn't eat that. That would just be on my personal list. Donnie, what's the issue with the rankings? I mean, how do you rank these? I mean, so
No,
you're
we
going to
just
tell
got
me
that's
that
the only rankage you need a damn good turkey. That's number one. And you like, and here's the one thing that I mean, a lot of people get on me about. I'm not a gravy guy at all, Jeff. The same way you said, I'm not a gravy. I don't want gravy. I don't even like gravy on my mashed potatoes. I know it's kind of weird. Just give me the huge pat of butter. When you're a kid, you build that little moat, and the mashed potatoes are hot, and you throw that
yes,
monster pat of butter in there, and you build that
sure.
little moat in the middle. I'm big on that. I love stuffing. I love turkey. I need 3 pies, Jeff, for every Thanksgiving. I demand it. One's apple, one is pumpkin, and one's coconut custard. I demand all 3 of those pies wherever I go, or at least I'm bringing it. And the most underrated thing at Thanksgiving, Jeff, is when you make either the biscuits or like whatever you have the Bisquick, or you're going to make the quick pop, Pillsbury biscuits when they just come out of the oven and you can peel them, let the layers back, and they're already buttered. Oh man, I can't wait for Thanksgiving tonight, Jeff. I can't.
Yeah,
I
I'm
can't
good
wait.
on the roll. No, no, no need for
Oh, come
rolls
on, the roll.
in a meal
You
like that.
gotta go with the roll. The damn good
Uh,
roll right out of the oven. Like you pop that little thing and you put them in there 5, 10 minutes and they're ready to go. Oh, the roll is banging. I need the roll.
Stuffing with or without pecans? Without. What? I don't no.
Pecans.
We don't
No, I
make it
can't.
like
No,
that.
no, no. Don't put any pecans in there, man. Come on.
Um the buttermilk. Yeah, yeah, exactly. I totally
Need
agree
the
with that,
buttermilk. You
Donnie.
need the butter. The buttermilk is the greatest thing of all time. And like how you dip it around, you might dip it in, and then it starts to leak out, and it's like you got to plug that dam again. Oh, yeah, come on, man. We go way back. We're like 8 years old at Thanksgiving.
The
You
little
always have to have.
the grouping of food for me is turkey, the stuffing, the mashed potatoes, little corn, throw some gravy on all of it. Perfect. That's the A1 Thanksgiving meal. We have to remember, guys, we're all from different parts of the country, so we don't all eat the same thing. Uh, some people eat like sweet potatoes, pie, and that kind of. I don't. We don't eat that where I'm at. So just like we might eat. Donnie, you probably eat something that I don't. So there's always a different opinions on this list. Peach. Yeah, I don't
Someone
have
saying
peach cobbler.
cornbread stuffing out there. I don't know if I've ever had cornbread stuffing, but you give me
Yeah,
a
never
nice
had
piece of
that.
cornbread. Cornbread is delicious. Yes.
What I
Man,
will
I
do
like
today is I will take a picture of my table and I'll take a picture of everyone at it. So you'll get to see the group that I have
what that you
that
actually
will
have a
be there.
family. People don't think you even have a family. That would be good.
Well,
Some
actually,
people out
generally
there,
people
Jeff,
don't
don't
think I have a.
don't like to take pictures. Some people out there don't like to take pictures or show their personal life, Jeff.
I don't. Well, obviously I do. And if you've listened to my show before, I've had my mother and my father both on my podcast, which was a great day. Donnie, my mother actually came on my podcast before. She during the ESPY, she gave out a pick on what color dress Jenner would wear, and it won. I got her on to kind of basically be that live host that gave her opinion on the clothing people would wear, and it ended up coming out a winner. So we pick winners in my household, Donnie. As you know, have you guys tried flan? Yes, I have. Being where I
Yeah.
live now, I live in a Puerto Rican area. It's pretty good. It's not something I eat, but I do eat it
You know what,
frequently.
Jeff? By the way, somebody's bringing up there also the sweet potato pie. See, I don't, I don't. I like sweet potatoes. I actually like white sweet potatoes. Like if I'm having a steak, that's my preferred potato. I don't know if I've ever had sweet potato pie, Jeff. Like, wouldn't it be the similar to like? Because now look, I love pumpkin pie, right? So wouldn't I probably
Yes,
love sweet potato pie? Isn't that same genre?
probably. I would imagine it would, yes. But I've never had that, so I can't comment. But it probably would be similar. All pies are pretty similar. Happy Thanksgiving from Finland. Welcome in, Finland. We say hello to you. Thank you. In New York, we have a tradition of taking a walk with sour diesel rolled up after we eat and before dessert. Great stuff, Dom Ricci. Sounds very New Yorkish, and I fuck with that. I don't smoke, but would be a great thing to do before you eat Thanksgiving, Donnie, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
As
absolutely.
many of us know. Um, are you ever going to give any 2 unit plays? No, I'm not. 1 units are fine for me. It's not a diet, big man. It's not diet day. Correct. That's exactly why I said I'll be eating everything on the table today, Trey Day. Um, correct. Pig feet for me. All right. Well,
Jeff, I'm getting there's a
have
lot of
fun.
good feedback there on sweet potato pie, Jeff. Making me want to might have to go out to the bakery today, try one. Somebody's even saying putting marshmallows. I could get down with that, topped with melted marshmallows. Mm,
Sounds sounds pretty good, actually.
man, I might have to-
And
why have I been missing
as
out on sweet potato pie my whole life, Jeff?
you need to
Why am
get
I?
down
Why
to
did I miss this?
You need to get down to Italian Market and go get one of those. You need to eat with a black family like mine. Well, Mr. Coach, in my future, I probably will due to my selection of women. So I'm sure that will be in my future at some day. Happy Thanksgiving from South Carolina. Welcome. Thank you, man. Kendrick Mitchell, we appreciate it. And guys, also, I do want to get to something else as far as Thanksgiving, what we're thankful for, maybe in sports and in our personal lives. BMOC not only kills college basketball, but also will break down dishes Thanksgiving. Correct. I am the food king. But Donnie's a pretty good food guy himself. Um,
I love to eat. Yeah.
Donnie, what are you thankful for today on Thanksgiving? Whether it's in sports or in your life, what are you thankful for today?
I'm thankful. I'm thankful for a lot more this year, Jeff, because I joke with my family, joke with my wife. I call it my pop, and we talk. Like, I don't know what happened where now, like, I can come on the air, I can talk sports, I can have a lot of fun. You get in the live chat box. We do this daily. I love to gamble on sports. I love to watch sports. But Jeff, how did I get so blessed with a 10-0 Miami Hurricanes football team and a 9-1 Philadelphia Eagles team? Is it like
How
the
about that?
comet's going to collide? No, like the dinosaurs, Jeff, like disappeared after the asteroid or comet hit the Earth. Like, is that what's coming? I'm feeling like a comet is going to hit the Earth like late January or mid-January, where I don't get to watch Miami in the NCAA title game if they make it, or the Eagles in the Super Bowl if they make it. Well, it's too good right now. Like, this is like the greatest Thanksgiving of all time, where you can sit down with the turkey. You hold hands and say what you're thankful for. I'm gonna have to close my eyes for 30 minutes for the amount of thankfulness that I'm getting right now. You know what I mean, Jeff? It's just one of those perfect years.
I agree with you. I'm a great football year for us. Great football year. And by the way, how about those Sixers, Donnie? Another win last night. I'm thankful for that. I'm going to list some of the things I'm thankful for, Donnie, as we embark on a Thanksgiving here. I'm thankful for a lot of things. I'm thankful to SBR for giving me the opportunity. I try to say that as much as I can. SBR took a shot on a young whippersnapper like me a couple years ago. And I know sometimes I can be abrasive and irritating and annoying, but sometimes we do pretty damn good shows here, Donnie and I, and I appreciate them for giving the opportunity. But I do want to thank and be thankful for Donnie, you, the great host, co-host of mine. You and I kind of embarked on a show together. We definitely have differing opinions sometimes, but you're probably my only friend in this business, truly, and I
Hmm.
thank you for that. So I'm giving that to you. But now I want to get into some real things. Um, Donnie, you kind of go into the family realm kind of like family at this point for me. I see you more than I see my own father and mother.
Yeah,
So
me too. Yeah,
thank
yep.
you. My own family, I appreciate that. I appreciate my family, my mother, my father, my brother, my sister, all my family. They're very supportive of what I do. Donnie, I thank myself and for everyone for college basketball, the greatest sport in the world. The Eagles, I'm thankful for them. I'm also thankful for Jordans, the Shore, Latin women, DJs, the green smell of money, and yeah, that's pretty much it.
And the haters,
Uh,
Jeff, and all your haters you have because look, they
yes.
have families
Uh,
too. They have families too.
yeah. Well, here's a big old fuck you today to those guys. Donnie, I'm guessing you're thankful for your wife, your kid.
Yeah,
What
man.
else today?
It's all like honestly, man, this past year has been so much fun for me. I mean, it's a really, really been enjoyable. And you know me, Jeff. I'm a football guy. And I can't get any more fun out of watching like Miami at this point or watching the Eagles and coming in and talking about it. I mean, it's been a great year overall. I mean, I literally have no complaints at whatsoever right now. So it's been a fun ride and I hope it continues. And I know we've had a good run there from the moment we met up a couple years ago there doing podcasts. Hey Don, I want you to come on my podcast. First time we ever spoke to each other, met up. I mean, it's been a fun ride, man. There's no complaints from my end whatsoever.
Exactly. Gary Long's thankful for SBR in the show. Great show. Need some
Yeah,
basketball picks. Yep, we're gonna get to
we're
them. I'm
getting
waiting
there.
to the
Yep,
end.
we're getting there.
We're definitely gonna get to them. Um, Turn the other cheek, Jeff. Yeah, Lauren. I know you don't need it. Every time I say something about trolls, Lauren, you could turn the other cheek. Yeah, I know. I'm just breaking their balls. Relax. Um, what else do we got here? I'm thankful to see another Thanksgiving. Good point, William Ramsey. My family and good people like you guys. Thank you, William. That's very nice of you today. I thank all of you guys. All the great listeners. We're thankful for you for tuning in and having some fun with us every day. We've had several different shows here, and we've enjoyed all of them, Donnie. This one, though, I think is a winner. Donnie, let's get into some college hoops. It's been a fun season so far for me. I know you've been watching the hoops as well, Donnie.
Yep.
So I ask you a quick question: what has impressed you so far this year? Have you seen anything out there out of the games that you've watched that you're impressed by?
I don't even want to say impressed, but like the scoring
Yeah,
right now and the level of talent. Because I know Jeff, you're a big basketball head, but I'm
yeah,
looking at every game right down to like Alabama and Sexton. Like you're saying, like these kids can really play basketball in the elevation of the game. You know, you always say like the NBA is the better athletes. Obviously, I'm not comparing them to college kids, but you watch a game played at a high level. I've watched a lot of basketball games, Jeff. But just usually it's on in the background because I'm not betting the games, not really capping them, but sort of getting a feel. Knowing the team's coming back from year to year, and the way these kids are able to score. And I don't know if it's maybe just an aberration or we always joke about the Maui rims, but every game seems like scoring is at a premium. I love the fact the way Wichita State plays, the same way we were watching them last night with Notre Dame. College basketball at its purest form is a beautiful sport to watch, and I'm just really impressed with the overall talent right now in college basketball.
yeah. I think you're totally right, and I think it's got a lot to do, Donnie, with a lot of these kids coming in. I mean, I mentioned I thought this class coming in was one of the most talented I've seen in some time. I mean, and you look at kind of right away these kids that have, Marvin Begley committing totally to Duke right away, and he's one of the better bigs in the country. DeAndre Ayton's killing it out at Arizona. He has four double doubles. Bamba down at Texas, he's been an instant performer. Colin Sexton at Alabama, he's one of the better guards in the country. Kevin Knox at Kentucky, Trayvon Duval and Wendell Carter at Duke. There's so many. These kids coming in are so talented. They're uber talented, really. I mean, you even look out at UNLV with Brandon McCoy last night. I mean, Brandon McCoy was dominating Utah. I mean, this is a freshman coming in straight out and dominating a really good interior defense of Utah. You're totally right, Donnie. The talent right now, and you even look at the upper tier talent. The Miles Bridges and the
Yeah.
Grayson Allens and just the great players in the country. It's going to be a great year for college hoops. There are a lot of good basketball teams out there. You look up at the top. I mean, Duke, Arizona, Michigan State, Kansas, Florida. There's so many good teams. And even last night, Donnie, you look at how about NC State? How about Kevin Keats
Yeah.
and the Wolfpack? I got to tell you,
Big
Arizona
win.
looked dreadful on defense. I watched the game. I had a bet on it. Arizona couldn't get stops last night. Landro Trier didn't play well. They got no bench production. And they need Raleigh Hawkins back a ton. He's their best defender. They showed last night their bench didn't play well. They had no depth. They got beat by a team that really wanted it last night, and it was an impressive win. Good for NC State. Kevin Keats, they're gonna like him down with the Wolfpack there. But yeah, you're totally right, Donnie. Very good comment by you on all the scoring. It has been impressive. We take a look though at the card today. A lot of good matchups, a lot of good tournaments. We got a game tipping off here momentarily. Missouri
Yeah.
hosting Long Beach State. This is a tournament game. You know, Missouri obviously going to struggle now a little bit without Michael Porter, though they still have various players on that roster that can get the job done. Whether it's some of the new guys, Blake Harris, Jonte Porter, Michael's brother, they still have Kevin Purrier and guys that have been there. But, kind of without him going forward, how are they going to play? He's not coming back. He's out for the year. Do I think that they can beat this team, Long Beach State, by double digits? Probably. Long Beach State's decent, but I'm looking to bet them against, Oregon State or teams like that. At Missouri, I don't have much of a feel on it. It's an early tip too. Early tips are are not ones that I look to get involved with, especially this early. I mean, Donna, you're basically dealing with teams that are from California that are playing at basically 8:30 a.m. their time. So it's not a scenario that I'm particularly keyed in on betting. And Missouri's off of a near loss, Donnie, to Emporia State. So,
Jesus.
uh, yeah, definitely not something that you want to see. By the way, this is the worldwide sports complex, which is where this game's being played. It's at,
What's that, down at
I guess
Disney?
I believe it's at Disney World. Yes,
Yeah.
Lake
Yep.
Florida.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, this is basically 8:30 a.m. for Long Beach State University. So not a particularly good starting game here for them. They should be quick losers in this tournament. Marist is terrible, and they're facing West Virginia tonight. West Virginia should roll them. Marist is horrible. They may turn the ball over 40 times in that game. Villanova, I think, is in a pretty good spot today. Donnie at 12:30. They might be a game I'm going to get involved in. I generally like to back and fade these teams that are off of wins yesterday that they probably shouldn't have had. Tennessee would be one of those. They weren't favored in that game against Purdue. They were
Hey, Jeff, but
underdogs.
real
They went
real
out and
quick
won
on
the
the
game.
slate
Yep.
today. I don't know if I ever remember this many college basketball games and good college basketball games on Thanksgiving. Did they just start this year? Because I don't ever remember this many games on Thanksgiving.
Yeah, they have so many more tournaments now, so they're more enticed to put
Yeah,
these games on.
nice.
The PK 80 tournament's been
Yeah, that's true.
been
Yeah,
introduced.
that's
That's a
this year.
new.
That's the first time
Yeah.
this year, right? The PK. Yeah, yeah.
Yes, correct. And you look at the field in that tournament, there's 16 teams. Like Connecticut, Oregon, that's a PK 80 game. Florida's game, that's one. All these Duke and UNC's. So you're introducing that tournament in. Plus, you have that Great Alaska Shootout, which is late in the night. So yeah, they're adding more into these holiday tournaments, which being a college basketball guy, you got to enjoy.
Gotta love it.
Um,
It's awesome.
yeah, sure. But yeah, there's some interesting ones. Villanova's an interesting one, especially early. They didn't play well yesterday. I think the general, look at Villanova. They barely won yesterday. Blah 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 blah. Tennessee's high on themselves after a big win. This is one of those spots where you kind of really look at Villanova and have to like them in this kind of spot.
By the way,
Um,
Jeff, quick one here on this
yeah,
one I want to talk to you about. We always talk about, where the line is telling you to go looking at college basketball local effort, I should say. 735, 736, St. Joe versus Washington State. Looking at the line, opens up around 8.5, stays at 8.5, Jeff. 81% of the tickets, though, however, on Washington State in this one. I know St. Joe's comes in a little bit banged up here, but that seems like a steep line, and the public leaning towards Washington State. But St. Joe getting a lot of respect from Las Vegas with that number right there.
yeah, they are, and it's definitely a line that I'm not sure. It's a little too high to me. St. Joe's I was pretty high on coming into the season with everyone returning from injury, and then Lamar Kimball goes out for the year, and they're back to square one. They're not a particularly good defensive team. They've gotten some production off the bench, which is key, but it is a big number. I don't think Washington State's the worst team in the Pac-12 anymore. I think that elusive team has to be Cal at this point after losing by 20 plus to Chaminade yesterday, which I'm not sure how that ever happens. But yeah, this is a steep line, and I think the public is kind of picking this one off early. I think this is just a bad line they put out. I don't think St. Joe's should be this much a favorite to Washington State. St. Joe's is a team that I think all year will struggle again without a point guard. You have to have a point guard in college basketball, Donnie. You can't just have combo guards run it or two run the point. It's not going to be effective. Without someone like that, it hurts. And Donnie, this game is out in Fullerton. It's kind of a weird spot. I mean, St. Joe's going across the country, playing in a tournament out in Cal Fullerton. This line's a little too high to me, I think. This might be one I'm going to look into a little bit more. Washington State here, but I do want to look at the actual, because many people know, Donnie, I'm more into the actual schematics of the actual game and how both sides five will play. So I want to look into this one. Great call by you.
No, it looks like a fun game, and it's one of those triggers that I like to look at early in the season, saying, you know what, it looks a little hefty there, but a lot of people betting one way, and I'm not getting any line movement just yet on that basketball game, so should be fun. But I'm actually excited now by that, looking how deep that actual college basketball slate is, because you can bounce it back and forth. Back in the day, Jeff, growing up, you had excuse me, you had two NFL games and the Egg Bowl, and that was it. That was all you had all day, and now you have much more options. I like it. I like it a lot.
We got a comment here. Villanova does not score a lot. Okay, well, here's an important thing about college basketball. You cannot look at the last game and just base your whole opinion on one game. It's a long season. They scored 104, 113, and 75. Then yesterday they put up 66, and all of a sudden they can't score. They're an elite offensive club. Elite. Eric Paschal, Spellman didn't play well yesterday. Bridges and Brunson were great. Dante DiVincenzo was awesome. They'll get some bench production today. They didn't play well yesterday. They didn't. It happened. They were able to get the win in March. It doesn't matter. This is a game no one will care at all about. Please don't base an opinion off they can't score because of one game. That one game means nothing. What are BMOC's picks? I haven't made any yet. It's only 10:51 in the morning. I'll put some out a little bit later, and we'll get on those. But right now, I'm intrigued by Villanova. I'm intrigued by Donnie's point on Washington State. And I'm looking at a couple of small games, Donnie. Hampton, they're on my radar a little bit. They want to lay points with the Pirates here against a really poor Northern Arizona team. Do I want to get involved with a little Florida action? There's a lot of games, Donnie, that I need to look into a little bit more. What about you? What games are you keying in on to look at and watch today?
I mean, obviously the NFL. The NFL slate's always going to be king, and I'm good. I think it's a no stress day for me, Jeff, because there's a lot on the line. We're all fans of a certain teams. Obviously me and Jeff, there's no bias here. We love the Philadelphia Eagles. We root for the Philadelphia Eagles. Anything that's good for the Philadelphia Eagles, we like to root for. And again, that's where it goes back to all those years where you root against the Dallas Cowboys. Do I still today root against the Cowboys? Sure I do. The same way a Dallas Cowboy fan and a Giant fan and the Redskin fan, what are they going to do, Jeff? They're going to root against the Philadelphia Eagles. Not that much pressure in that game. Would it be nice to see Dallas lose? I guess. But if you're looking from a fan perspective, Jeff, if we're looking at the first game, Minnesota and Detroit, even though I do like Minnesota, I'm probably rooting for Detroit to win this football game just for overall from a standings perspective, just to give Minnesota another loss. I do think they're a really good football team. But out of those first two games, I'm actually going to enjoy those games because it's right in the time where you're drinking a little alcohol, relaxing, you got the snacks out, then you move into the main event, the Dallas Cowboys game. We're usually around halftime, we're usually eating and getting it all together. And then the second half, you're having the pumpkin pie, the apple pie. I'm just disappointed in the night game, Jeff, because what's the night game for us? You know what I mean? Usually like to top it off with like, damn, this is a really good football game. Get the Giants in Washington. There's not even a cheering aspect in this one for anybody, Terrible.
Let me ask you, Donnie, where's Thanksgiving on your holiday list? Is it higher or lower?
It's probably number one, honestly. It's probably number one.
Really? Yeah. Has it always been number one, or just recently?
Yeah, because no, because when you're a kid, Christmas really takes precedent until you're about 16, 17 years old. But as you get older, Thanksgiving has everything I like. Nobody's really mad, or at least around I've seen the movies and don't bring cousin Jim or Uncle Ed over to Thanksgiving. There's going to be some problems, and we've all seen that. But generally, everybody comes over in a good mood. The girls love it because Friday is back in the day. Now you just do your shopping online. It's Black Friday. They're excited for that. The guys can sort of be left alone on Thanksgiving. You show up at your in-laws or whose ever house, or they're coming to your house at 12 o'clock. Everybody sits around the TV, the guys, watches the game. You drink, you talk about life, you have fun, and the women are usually in the kitchen getting the food ready. And I love food. So when they bring the food out and I'm eating and I'm watching football and it's like the perfect storm Thanksgiving. I love Thanksgiving.
No, it's a great holiday. You're totally right. Is it up there towards the top? No, disagree. But it is very good. Uh, Two things before we go, Donnie. We thank all of you guys for checking us out. It's
Always, man.
very,
Always.
very awesome that all of you, plenty of people on here, about 300 people live. We welcome all of you, and we thank you for checking us out. We thank you for checking out everything at sbrpicks.com. Check out the books, check out the rating guides, check out all the different platforms SBR has to offer you. We're here to help. Donnie, before we go, two people I'm not thankful for today, and I noticed them this morning, and they're awful. Uh, Mike Golick Jr. is brutal. When he's on the TV, I just switch it. And last night, Jay Williams is terrible. He is awful on the air. Awful. He has no knowledge. He's annoying and just tries to be hip, and he's not. Like, just dude, go the fuck away, please.
Yeah,
Do you know who
that's
Mike
that's
Golick
such a good
Jr. is?
point.
He's brutal.
I don't mind Mike Golick Jr. I actually don't, but
Oh, he's
you know what? I do
awful.
think that's going to be
Horrible.
pretty good with ESPN, which I don't agree with a lot of stuff they do. But Golick and Wingo is probably going to be a pretty good morning show that they match those two guys up. But like just watching it over, it's funny you bring that up, like the Jay Williams thing. My favorite Philadelphia Eagle of all time is Brian Westbrook. Like I would go to war with Brian Westbrook back in the day
Yeah.
and how good he was on the football field. And Jeff, I can't stand him on the radio. He's so
Oh,
bland.
really?
He's so blah,
Yeah.
and I'm so upset by that. Like I really am. Like I would like, cause I like Jeremiah Trotter. You listen to him locally. Like he's a funny guy. Generally makes me laugh, and I enjoy his banter. And I'm so upset that I can't listen to Brian Westbrook and be like, "Damn, that's my favorite Eagle of all time," because I
He's
just think he's
definitely
awful on the radio.
he's definitely a yes man. Man, he does.
Yeah.
He definitely like agrees with everything the Eagles do, and he doesn't ever want to like ruffle any feathers. And that's why I'm not a big fan of these athletes that are on like our broadcast, just because they're ego. They don't want to like offend Coach Reed or Coach Peterson or anyone. So it's like they never say anything that's too too abrasive. Why is Arkansas not favored of Oklahoma? Because Oklahoma is really good. Kadeem Lattin's awesome. Christian James is great. Trey Young, freshman coming in, has been on fire. I think that line's where it should be. I like Oklahoma if I had to play that game. Arkansas solid, but they haven't played anyone yet other than Bucknell. Other than that, Donnie, that's it for us. It's been a great show today, really informative. Had some fun talking about Thanksgiving. And on this great day, we wish you and yours a great Thanksgiving. We hope you enjoy the sports today. We'll be back tomorrow, Donnie. Lot to do tomorrow. We got Black Friday football, one of the best traditions that there is on
Yeah.
the channels. We'll have college basketball. Look out for that. I'll put that out later today on what I'm on. Donnie, enjoy your day and have a good Thanksgiving.
You too, big
We'll be
man.
back tomorrow. Thank you, brother. We'll be back tomorrow. Happy Thanksgiving to all. Enjoy your day. Bye bye.